Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. And welcome to the PreStream podcast. Today is Thursday, as I try to center my leaderboard here. Thursday, the 28th of April, 2022. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. We've got a lot to talk about on the PreStream podcast today, actually. Today is Endgame in Elden Ring. We are in the Hallig tree, which is why I actually decided, even though I just used this border last week, we are getting down to the end of Elden Ring. Depending on how things actually go today, could determine how many more streams I have of the game. And if it goes well today, which I don't know if it will, maybe only one or two more. But the thing is, everyone gets hung up at the boss at the end of the Hallig tree. Of course, I've been completely spoiled on the boss because people have been talking about her nonstop for like a month and a half, which is ridiculous that people can't keep their mouths shut, but it is what it is. We'll have to see how it goes, all right? So that's hype, obviously. People are hyped to see that. They've been waiting for the end of the most challenging parts of Elden Ring for a while, you know? So that's going to be exciting. Here on the PreStream podcast, we also have a lot to talk about. I have some updates on Super Thanks I'd like to talk about. We've learned a little bit more about Super Thanks in the last 24 hours, actually. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that, my experience, and what you guys have been telling me about it. We have an update in regards to this channel and members. We hit our members goal of 400 members for the month of April, and when we hit that milestone, we actually unlocked a new slot for an emote for members to use. Now, we forgot to talk about it. It was so hyped to hit the goal, we hit it, and we completely forgot about one of the cool perks about hitting that milestone, okay? And so, we're going to talk about that on the pre-stream. I have a few emotes already available, the holdovers from Twitch, that over the last year, we haven't really unlocked yet, so we could use one of those. Or, unless someone wants to think up and or create a new emote of some sort to add to the channel, we can do that too, but we have to talk a little bit about that this morning, okay? Now, in addition to that, I've got a really stupid update, and I mean it, it's really stupid, in regards to the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga playthrough. You will get a good laugh out of this one, okay? So we got all of that to talk about on today's pre-stream podcast, okay? Plus, there'll be some Q&A likely at the end of the stream as usual. Let's see here. Wily Coyote says, you look like you're getting some sun today. I have the window open for now. What ended up happening was, we fell asleep last night, okay? We left the heat off by accident. Oops. And we fell asleep. And, you know, we're in bed, and you don't really notice it as long as you're underneath, like, the comforter or whatever. We woke up this morning, start walking around like, oh my God, it's, like, really cold in the house. It's so weird right now here in Washington State because it's warm during the days, but it gets cold at night. And so we're walking around the house freezing, right? I come into the office, and I'm like, man, it's cold in here too. So I actually don't have the window open right now. I get the feeling over the course of today it will heat up in here, especially if the sun is going to be on the wall there. So I got the blinds all the way open. I'm letting the sun in. It's rejuvenating me. It's thawing me out from a cold night. But likely at some point I will open the window and close the blinds again, especially because the sun is coming out. I'll probably have to do that because I can't even see. Like right now I'm looking at my TV. I can't even see it. All I see is glare from my rug reflecting up onto my television. So when I actually go to play the game, I'm likely going to have to close the blinds. But yeah, it looks pretty bright in here today. All right. Excuse me. So good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Yesterday was my return day to streams after my day off on Tuesday. It was a pretty chill day, and what I mean by that is there was really nothing challenging, really, that I did yesterday, let's be honest. We started off with LEGO Star Wars. We finished up with the Revenge of the Sith movie and headed into The Force Awakens, the modern trilogy. I actually had a lot of fun with you guys yesterday because we started talking about the lore of Star Wars and having interesting conversations because I was like, I don't even know the lore of Star Wars, you know? I'm just kind of, in a lot of ways, just watched the movies once or twice and not really knowing much, and people explaining to me, oh, here's how the midichlorians work, and here's why Anakin turned, and here's how Vader's suit works, and I'm like, whoa, my God, there's a whole level of shit that I didn't understand. And what I will say is, thank you to those who are still attending the chill style streams. I understand that they're not the most riveting when it comes to the gameplay, I'm really enjoying Lego Star Wars, and we're now have the modern trilogy to get through before we finish the playthrough. But admittedly, not a game that really appealed to my mainstream audience. You know, I'm playing it. I'm getting 200 to 250 viewers every time I play the game. Support is very slow every time I play it. So the good news is, one more trilogy to go. We're going to go through it, and this trilogy will be interesting because I haven't really experienced the end of the movies. I never saw the final movie. So it should be fun. At the same time, some people keep screaming every time I play the game, "Oh my god, you're still playing this game." It's like, yeah, it's something different. I can't just play Elden Ring all the day, you know? Now, for those who weren't here last night, just so you know, YouTuber's Life 2, we're done with it. Basically what happened was thus. I say thus, people now are criticizing me for saying thus. Too bad, I'm going to say even more. Because you're criticizing me saying the word thus, I'm going to continue to say thus and say thus even more. That's how it works here, okay? So, it went as thus. You guys, well, I say you guys, the members voted for YouTuber's Life 2 to return. I hadn't played it since November. I had played about 5 hours of it. What we found out is that, sadly, the game isn't actually very good when you get to the meat of the game. The introduction of the game, when you're going step by step through the beginning stuff in the game, and there's some interesting plot lines with PewDiePie and stuff like that in it, is more fun than the rest of the game. Because when we were basically starting like hour 6 of gameplay, it was boring. We were trying to figure out what to do. There wasn't much to do. Unless you grind a lot, making these silly videos to make money, you can't afford the equipment that you need to make the better videos. So you can't make, it's like, oh, today the hot trend is the Sega Dream. It's supposed to be like the Sega Dreamcast. Oh, I want to go buy it and make a video about it. Oops, it costs 2,000 coins and you only have 500. Oh, well, let me grind. So you grind for 2 days making random videos. Oh, well, now you have enough money for it, but it's not the trend anymore. This is the trend. There's a USB drive hidden in the movie theater. Go get it and make a video about whatever's on the USB drive. Oh, okay. So I go to the movie theater, I get the USB drive, I come back home. How do I use it? There's no option to plug it into your computer and use the damn thing. I'm fumbling through menus, I'm fucking around. People are like, oh, upgrade the computer. I buy a CPU for the computer to upgrade it. There's no option to install it. I'm like, what is this? Essentially, like I said, the intro of the game is fun, and then when you try to get down to the nitty-gritty of what the game will be when you do it at length, it's not good. It's kind of boring and very cryptic and basically not entertaining. So I basically played the game for about an hour last night, and I was like, wow, this is stupid. Like, this actually is genuinely bad, and I kind of was pissed because I did buy that game in October, thinking I could add it for variety to the streams over the next, like, year, just, like, silly stuff, and it's just not good. So we said, screw this. We stopped playing it and said, I guess we're done with that. Let's now go into Game Pass. Let's actually go into Game Pass itself, and let's see what games have been added in the last few months, because I haven't really looked at it since, like, January. And we went in there, and we marked a few games to be played, okay? Games such as Mirror's Edge, games such as Bassmaster Fishing 2022, and a few others. Basically, we picked like 5 or 6 different games. We added them to my list of to be played, and I actually ended up removing a bunch of games that we had added like last fall, and I was looking at them again, and I was like, I'm probably not going to be playing these games, okay? So here's the deal. Here's how it's going to work. This weekend, there are 2 Game Pass streams scheduled, all right? We're going to go through the schedule in just a moment, but I kind of wanted to cover this. It's a good time to talk about it. Instead of doing polls to determine what we're going to play, I can tell you right now, one of the streams is going to be I Am Fish. I want to do the final Piranha stage and the final Flying Fish stage. The Flying Fish is crazy challenging. Excuse me. So, we're going to do that for sure one of the days. I don't know if it'll be Saturday or Monday, but it's happening, okay? Now, to get the final stage of I Am Fish, you need to grind for 40 stars. I think I have like 20-something. If I beat these final 2 stages, maybe I'll have a handful more. It just seems to me like it really requires a lot of repetition to unlock the secret final stage. I don't know if I want to do it or not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes playing these final stages, okay? Now, man, my stupid allergies. Excuse me, it's very annoying. There's going to be another Game Pass stream. What's it going to be? Well, I'm going to pick a random game. However, what I'd like is your feedback. If you guys could check out that video from last night, all right? It's live on the channel right now. You'll see we went through the Game Pass stuff, okay? And it would be great if you could give me your feedback. on which of those games you're interested in seeing, whether you could leave a comment on that video, if you want to mention it on a stream, in the stream chat, however you want to do it. I would like your feedback over the next few days to help me determine what I want to do on the weekend, what Game Pass game. Personally, right now, I am leaning towards either Mirror's Edge or Bassmaster. I know that sounds silly, but Mirror's Edge is a game that I played at the very beginning of my YouTube career. It was a new release, and I played it with a camera pointed at my television, at an angle. Terrible visual quality, terrible audio quality. It didn't do the game justice. The game is outstanding. It really was one of the best games at that time of game releases. On the Xbox 360, it was just an outstanding game. So unique, okay? Very short, though. If I remember, I think it's between 5 or 7 hours long. It's a shorter game, for sure. So, kind of a hard sell in the modern day. If that came out today, no one would want to pay full retail price for it, right? They'd want me to demand it's like an indie game, charge me $20-$30 for it. It was a different time back then, okay? But, I'm leaning towards doing a playthrough of it, okay? Now, also, you got silly-ass Bassmaster. Why on earth they would make a video game of fishing, I have no idea. But I say that at the same time that when you think back to the games that I have played over the years with fishing segments, such as Deadly Premonition, such as Minecraft, right? The times when I'm fishing are either some of the most hilarious or chill, right? I mean, in Minecraft, every time I fished, it was a fun interactive segment where I would just do Q&A while I was fishing, and it was super fun. I loved the discussions we had when I was fishing in Minecraft, okay? And so, I wouldn't be opposed to trying it, and just seeing what the heck it is. Okay, if it's bad, it's bad. Who cares? At least we tried it and we can laugh at it. It's just Game Pass. It's not a huge investment. You see what I'm saying? Now, some of the other stuff that I would definitely consider doing, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 or Serious Sam 4, out of all the other games that I had already started on Game Pass, those were two that I was very much enjoying. And no one really ever voted for me to go back to them in all these polls that I've been doing recently. So maybe I would make the decision to go back to them for a night, okay? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either Mirror's Edge, Bassmaster, One Piece, or Serious Sam 4. Those are the kind of the games that I'm focused on and thinking about. But maybe you have a different opinion, and that's why I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Yes, I already played Back for Blood Earth. I already did. Okay, so that's what's going on. Let's talk about the schedule in general for the week. Today it's Elden Ring Endgame. We are going to the Hallig Tree. We're already there. We're already halfway through the Hallig Tree. And last time around, I got pretty far. And then there was a gauntlet of revenants. Like, no exaggeration. I fought like 4 of them in a row. And then there was a 5th. And the 5th cheesed me out. He stun-locked me. He hit me with a wave of poison. And it made my body, I couldn't move my character. And then he just wailed on me. I was like, wow, that's really fair to stun lock your character in a move you can't even really dodge on reaction. Really stupid. So, that pissed me off. And I lost like 140, 150,000 runes. I don't even know if I'm going back for them, to be honest. I have to think about it. We have to retackle it today. Okay? I don't know how far I'm going to get. I don't know if we're beating Hallig Tree today. Because all reports is that the boss of Hallig Tree is so hard. The hardest thing in the game, and arguably the hardest boss ever put in a FromSoft game. I mean, if that's the case, it's likely the last thing I want to do, right? Before I beat the game. So, what we may do is get to the end, challenge the boss with my current build. If that doesn't work, go respec. Challenge the boss with a different build. If that doesn't work, respec. Challenge the boss with a different build. And if we go through all that and I still can't beat the boss, then okay, screw it. Let's go to the other parts of the game now, right? Let's do the rest of the game first, and then we can go back, okay? So, let's see how it goes, all right? I don't know how it's going to go today. My goal, obviously, it would be great if I could just beat the boss, but I don't think that's going to happen, especially the build I have, this intelligence build with the dual greatswords. It's not as good as my faith build. I'm not doing as much damage. I don't have as much range, and you know, with the current stuff I have on, I don't have, well, actually, I think I did put on armor that has good poise now. I'm trying to think. I actually had really good poise armor, but then I wanted to put on all new armors that I was finding, and or buying. So I actually should check my stats, I guess, and see how my poise is. But basically, yeah, I think that I'm likely going to have a ridiculously hard time. I'm going to have a hard time with this boss, and that's okay. Everyone's hyped it that way, and I'm okay with challenge. But if it's that hard, maybe we'll beat the rest first and we'll come back to it later. We'll see. Let's see what happens, okay? Okay. So that's the first stream. Now, later tonight, it is Skyrim After Hours. And the good news is we finished the Companion's quest line, so now we can focus on a couple Daedric quests that I have on the agenda. Once those are done, then we're going to be starting up one of the 2 DLCs. There's either Dragonborn or Dawnguard. Now, I don't know which one to do, or if there's a recommendation by the viewers. I'll see what happens, obviously, when we get to that. Both of them apparently are very lengthy. Each DLC is between 10 to 20 hours long, depending on how much you do in them. Because I guess what it is they set you up in whole new areas of the game you haven't been to yet with all not only like mission-based DLC, but there's also like side content and all kinds of stuff. So that's cool. Okay, that's very cool. And I'm excited because it's going to be variety. You know, we've been playing Skyrim now for 90 plus hours since December. And to actually go to a new location and have all new things implemented into the game will be neat. And of course, I play Skyrim about 2 times a week, so this will be a few weeks. Whatever DLC I start will literally be like 2-3 weeks to get through. So it'll be fun, okay? Cool. Now, Friday. Friday we'll do the Bugsnax DLC. And you may say, well, now wait a minute, Phil, but the Bugsnax DLC came out today. Well, it did in Europe. I don't even know if it's available right now on the American PlayStation Store. I didn't want to really mess with it and chance scheduling it today, and then we couldn't play it. We're doing it tomorrow, so I'm going to re-download Bugsnax overnight. Excuse me. And it'll be pretty fun to play it again. And also, now this new DLC expansion, which apparently is 3 hours long, is supposed to be a separate island with giant Bugsnax. The thing is, I say 3 hours long, but you got to understand something. Number one, I haven't played this game since launch of PlayStation 5, so I'm going to have to relearn all the mechanics and everything. Number two, I have an interactive stream, therefore I'm going to be talking with you guys constantly, which makes it way more lengthy than just, say, a straight 3 hours of gameplay. And number three, this is supposed to be like challenging post-game style content, so it might actually be hard for me. So, excuse me. So, that being said, I don't think it might end up being like 2 streams. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. We'll play it tomorrow. We'll see how far we get. And if I need another stream of it or maybe a night stream, we can maybe schedule that in for the next week. Okay? But I'm excited to go back to Bugsnax. You guys know how much I loved that game a couple years ago, and to play it again will be pretty sweet. Okay? Then on Friday night, it's Friday Night Fights, old school Street Fighter fun. We have less than 2 months left with the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection until the new game comes out, the Capcom Fighting Collection. So we're trying to giving this game its last hurrah at this point, okay? Excuse me. So then over the weekend, it's going to be Lego Star Wars and Elden Ring, balanced on the day streams. And the night streams, like I said, will be 2 Game Pass streams and another stream of Skyrim, all right? So that's what you can expect this week. Now, next week, we've got new stuff. There's a new game, Trek to Yomi, coming out. And by the way, it is on Game Pass, which I didn't even know until last night. I didn't even realize that. A really cool stylized samurai game. It's black and white, kind of film noir style, like those old samurai films that also all used to be black and white and have a stylized filming style. That's how this game plays. And it looks interesting to me. It looks unique. I'm excited to try it out. Also, keep in mind, once I beat either Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars, or both, the next game we're playing is WWE 2K22. So that's right around the horizon. Okay, right? Coming around the corner. Cool. All right, so that's roughly the schedule. All right? That is roughly the schedule. Now, let us talk about a few interesting topics today, shall we? Let's start with the members goal that we hit. Thank you guys so much for your support in April. And here's what happened. The beginning of April, I announced, the very first day of April, I said if we hit 400 members this month, I'm going to do a DSP Reacts special, Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. I've never done anything like this before. It'll be me going outside my comfort zone, going outside the box. I'm excited to see how it goes. Initially, there was a lot of interest, and then it died. I don't know why, but after a couple days, people were hyped. A lot of people actually, there's like 20, 30 people who all became members, and then it plateaued. And I was like, wow, that kind of sucks. You know, I thought this would be something interesting, something different I've never done. I thought people would want it because they've asked me to do that kind of content for many, many years. Okay? Then, on a whim, someone suggested in Stream Chat one day, they said, you know, what would be a little bit more interesting than you just reacting to your own content in your own video would be if you did one on someone else first, because we'd like to see how this would work. And maybe do one on someone who like has relation to your content, like LTG or Wings of Redemption. And then I realized there was a Down the Rabbit Hole video of Wings of Redemption. So I reached out to Frederick Knudsen, the same person who had made the video about me, and I said, you know, I talked to you about a month ago about doing one on me, but could I do the video about Wings? And he was like, yeah, I would love for you to do it. And I talked to Wings, and Wings was down for it. So I was like, well, then that's like a win-win-win. So then I told you guys I would like to do it, and you guys freaked out and said yes. So we did it last weekend. It was a success. You know, highest viewership I've had, concurrent viewership I've had, and stream retention. I had 1,000 viewers the entire time I did it during the daytime stream, which I've never had that be consistent. Even on the Elden Ring premiere stream, I had about 1,100 viewers, but then it waned. It went down to like 700. It was 1,000 constant viewers on the stream the whole time. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Okay? It went really well. And now here we are, you know, several days after. You know, this was Saturday. Today's what, Thursday? The videos are doing great on the channel. The first part, of course, is always the best. It's got like 12,000 views. The other videos are around 5,000, and they're all climbing slowly. I mean, it's 5 hours. Who's going to sit there and watch 5 hours of me reacting, right? It takes a long time to get through it. So it's doing really good, okay? Engagement is sky high on the videos. So I'm very pleased. Did they completely flip everything on this channel on its head, and now I'm only doing react content? No. There was good support during the stream. There was a lot of, you know, super chats, and members came in, and tips as well. But it wasn't like, oh my god, look at how insane amount of money Phil made or something like that, and now Phil's only going to make react content. That didn't happen, okay? But, if anything, the experiment worked, and now people are like, we want to see you do the Down the Rabbit Hole on yourself. And I said, okay, well, that was my idea to begin with, so let's hit the members goal, and then we did. So thank you to everyone who became a member this month. I hope you enjoy your perks. Now, what we need to do is we need to partake in all of the awesome rewards for hitting our members' goal. One of the rewards, all right, is basically unlocking a new emote slot for members on this channel. And the way it works is every 50 members that we gain, it unlocks a new emote slot. So we're at 410. That's the record. That's the most members we've ever had on DSPGaming. So thank you guys for the support. 410 is the current record, all right? Now what we're able to do, here, okay, is pick a new emote. Let's go through the emotes that are easily available immediately, and then let's talk about if you guys would maybe want a different one. Because here's the deal. I don't have any capability to make emotes. I can't make art. I'm not a graphic designer, nor do I have any programs or anything to do it. Everything is all crowd submissions, crowd support, right? You guys, thank you so much for all the art. Look at this. Amazing border, everything. It's all with you guys' help, all right? Can't do this stuff. Refreshing. Okay, so let us go through the emotes that I have, or let's talk about possibly a new one. So here's what we have. These are the holdout emotes from back on Twitch, okay? So we've got the shot glass. Me holding a shot glass. At one point, there was a joke about me taking a shot, but that has been long dead, and I don't think that that's going to be anything really too pertinent for today, but that is one that I do have held over, okay? Rasta DSP. You all have seen this one. It's basically the animation that plays right here when someone tips $4.20, okay? So you've seen that. That one is available as an actual regular emote. Previously on Twitch, that was actually meant to be an emote for a long-standing supporter. Like if you had been a member of the channel for like a year, you would unlock top-tier emotes, and that was one of the ones that you would get for being an ongoing supporter of the channel. Sadly here, they don't have that feature. I know. YouTube doesn't have half the features. It's stupid, but it is what it is. Okay, continuing on. Cozy DSP. And there's actually two different versions of Cozy DSP. One of them is me kind of like wrapped in a big green blanket, like snuggled in. And another one is me in like a cozy parka style coat. Okay? If you're interested, that's an option. Okay? Call of Duty DSP, I'll be honest, at one point was a really good emote when I was playing Call of Duty constantly a few years ago. That's long in the past. So if I did the Call of Duty DSP emote, it looks like me, like a military guy with camo on his face. Probably not too pertinent today, but maybe in the future it would be. Okay. Death. This is the one with me, a cartoony face with red X's over my eyes. Probably would have been super pertinent for the Elden Ring playthrough. Alright? And obviously that's something that's more generic that can apply to like a lot of my content. Alright, so think about that. Frog. Now, in regards to the frog emote, I had 2 separate frog emotes on Twitch. One was a cartoony frog head, and the other one was a frog head that looked like my face. Okay? Now, pretty cool. Alright? Because this used to be a meme. A running meme that was over on Twitch. Right? However, someone actually made the point the other day. They said, man, isn't it funny how a lot of the stuff that used to be on Twitch didn't carry over when you came over to YouTube about a year ago? In particular, that was one of the ones, like the frog meme, that never really translated over. People don't talk about it. People barely use it. I think the only time I even think about it is someone in the stream chat actually named himself Jim the Frogga, and that's the one that makes me think about it. Outside of that, that's it. Like, nothing else really references that meme anymore, okay? So, I don't know if that would be pertinent, but I have 2 different frog emotes. Now, one here that I absolutely positively don't think is pertinent anymore, I think we could probably all collectively agree to eliminate it from the running, is Audit, okay? At one point, over a year ago, I was in a bad situation. Someone had found a way to essentially commit mass fraud when they were sending tips. It was basically massive credit card fraud. They were actually purchasing stolen credit card numbers off the black market on the internet. And they were coming to my streams and giving me tips from other people's stolen credit card numbers. All right. And it was a major problem because it kept looking like it was legit. Here comes legit tips. And then they were all fake and they would all get charged back. Sometimes this person will come to the stream and just spam fake tips for like an hour. Okay. So at one point, I had to put protections in place against my PayPal account to stop the spam. And what ended up happening was it did dramatically reduce the amount that this was happening. At the very same time, I still had to audit tips, because if there was tips coming in from accounts that were brand new, fresh accounts that had no actual like history, essentially it was chances it was fraud. And I needed to audit that to protect myself from my business being negatively affected, okay? Now, the good news is since then some things have changed. The tools on PayPal have actually improved a bit in the last year. PayPal has actually put a lot of protections in place, so if stuff like that happens, it doesn't get slammed against the content creator. You know. So that's a really good thing. Right? That's a really good thing. But the audit emote was basically me with a magnifying glass, essentially pausing the stream when a tip came in to audit the tip, which I actually had to do at some point. I had to say, oh, can I accept or not accept this tip? All right? That's long gone. I haven't really done that in about a year. Okay? It hasn't been that big of a concern. Yes, exactly. Remember I had the Home Alone 2 stolen credit card animation for tips at one point. It was making fun of it. So, at one point, the audit emote was pertinent. I don't really think the audit emote is that pertinent anymore. Okay? There's a 2-parter emote that I keep telling you guys about, but you keep telling me don't do it. It's the dab. You guys remember the dab emote where I'm dabbing like this, you know, doing the dab? And it's a two halves. Okay? The problem with that is, essentially when I unlock the first half of the dab emote, okay, now we're kind of committing that the next time that I get 50 more members on the channel, we're going to unlock the other half. You see? What's the point of half of a dab? So right now we're at 410 members. I can tell you guys right now, okay? Here's what we're doing in the month of May. In the month of May, the members goal will be as follows. 450 members, all right? I know that's a stretch, but listen to the reward. The reward is as follows. If we get 450 members, we're going to have a series of projects listed for the next DSP Reacts. It's going to be an interesting mix, because I can tell you right now, some of them are going to be from Frederick Knudsen, but I already have an idea for one that will not be. And it's something that people have wanted forever. Okay? All right. I'm not going to announce it yet. I don't want to spoil. That would be pretty stupid to spoil it, don't you think? So I don't want to spoil it yet. But basically, if we hit 450 members, you will get to vote on the next project for DSP Reacts after I react to my own Down the Rabbit Hole. All right? So, this will be interesting. I think you guys are going to like this idea. And hopefully, this will motivate people to become members who are not members yet. Because right now, I have 410 members. But on a daily basis, I have over 1,000 people who watch my content streaming. And I have thousands of people who watch the on-demand videos. It makes sense that I should have more members. All right? Okay, then. So, in May, there will be big incentive to hit 450 members. So, if we do the first half of the dab emote now, and we hit the 450 in May, then we'll have the second half already. See, it's almost it's a lock, I guess. But do you guys really want that, right? Now, the last emote that I have is called Devour, all right? Now, this is a 2-parter emote. The first parter was a couple years ago. The first part is that a couple years ago, during one of my episodes of DSP Tries It, we tried what were called the Papadillas from Papa John's Pizzeria. All it is pizza dough that they fold over like this into like a semi-sandwich, and they put shit inside of it. And I tried the Italian version, and I think I tried, it was more like a savory steak sandwich or something like that. So as I was eating it, people did screen captures of me eating this papadilla and made an emote of it. It's funny. It looks funny, me eating this papadilla, okay? So that was the original Devour emote. Now, when Bug Snacks came out, a variation was released of me eating a bug snack, okay? So either one could be kind of cool. The thing is, with the Bug Snack emote, that's more timely. Like, right now, it would make sense to do that, since I'm about to play Bug Snacks again. But after a week or two, is anyone really going to care about me eating the bug snack? So maybe the more generic one makes more sense, right? I'm not sure. So there you go. So here's your options. Shot Glass, Rasta Fill, Cozy Fill, Call of Duty Fill, Death, which is the red X's on the eyes, a variation of a frog emote, the Audit emote, which I really don't think is pertinent anymore, the 2-parter dab, basically starting with one half and hoping we hit 450 members in May so we can do the other half, or the Devour emote. All right? That's what we're looking at right now. So, here's what we'll do. I'm not going to add one today. I'm going to take your feedback in. I'm going to mention this over the next couple of days. I'm going to see if we can get some kind of a consensus, all right, on what people are interested in. And by the way, Lord Sheogroth, please stop spamming the chat, for God's sakes. You can say what you want once or twice. You don't have to post it 17 times. I see it. Okay, so let me know. And then we'll go from there, all right? I want to get some feedback over the course of the next few days. I'm going to basically be mentioning this like on every stream so that people can give me their opinions and we can see what people really want and make a determination, all right? I don't want to just jump in and add an emote and then half the people are upset. I want to see if there's at least a semi-consensus on what people would want, okay? Okay, there you go. Awesome. So that'll be added soon, but let's see what people want, all right? So I have an update in regards to the Lego Star Wars playthrough, and then in regards to Super Thanks. Let's talk about the Lego Star Wars playthrough first, because I think you'll get a laugh out of this one, okay? So as you guys know, I've been playing Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, for several weeks now. We've beaten the first 2 trilogies. We're now into the final modern movie trilogy. I just started playing The Force Awakens yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And here's what happens when I play that game, all right? I upload the videos to YouTube, and they usually sit there for about an hour, and then within an hour, YouTube's algorithm will run, match the video to the actual official soundtracks, okay, of the movie, and then gets claimed, all right? So I don't make any ad revenue on any of the videos from Lego Star Wars at all. I don't, I just can't. I knew this was going to be the case since the moment I started playing the game. I knew that the John Williams soundtrack of the original movies and then whatever soundtrack they used in the modern ones, I knew they were all going to get claimed, okay? Fair enough? Okay. So with that being said, I went into it with that mentality. What I didn't expect is what happened last night. Wait till you guys hear this. Now, the good news is the playthrough videos are not affected in any way, okay? They're claimed, but they're fine. But as you know, when I live stream on YouTube, okay, I have an archive stream. As soon as this stream ends, I make that stream private. Now, why do I do that? There's 2 reasons. Number 1, I want people to watch my videos in digestible portions, not one giant conglomerated blob. Right now, my stream would be PreStream music, PreStream podcast, breaks, plus gameplay. That's way too much to be in one video. I don't want people sifting through that. I want my playthroughs to be neat and sorted and professional. So what I do is I personally break up the stream myself when I'm sitting here and recording. I started recording this podcast, that's one video. When I start doing gameplay, I'll record it in hour snippets. And those are other videos. And they all go up. By the way, it should be said that the longer video you put on YouTube, the more potential for problems. I've noticed processing issues, all kinds of shit that happens when you have a longer video, okay? So I like having it short and concise and put into playlists and everything for appropriate what it is. However, I don't want to delete the video, because if I delete the stream, number 1, it actually kind of erases any progress that I made with that stream. And number 2, YouTube actually sees deleted videos as a negative against the channel. I learned this the hard way in 2015 when I deleted a bunch of videos as a result of false copyright claims. And my channel lost millions of views, and YouTube kicked it out of the search algorithm. No one could even find DSPGaming. It was ridiculous how badly it affected this channel. Okay? So that being said, it's really stupid. That being said, I don't want to delete my streams after I stream them. I need to have them on the channel in some capacity so that I continue to benefit from them. The views that I get, the engagement that I get, like when you guys click like on a stream, that helps this channel overall. If I were to delete this stream, it would actually hurt the channel. So what I do is I stream, and I set the stream to private, okay? That's what I do. And then I upload the separate parts, okay? Is the quality of my webcam better than ever right now? No, it's the same webcam. I haven't changed anything. The only thing is that I have natural light coming into the room. So the power of sunlight, huh? Okay. So anyway, what am I getting at? What am I telling you about this for? So yesterday, all right, I finished the Lego Star Wars stream. I upload the videos as usual, and I set the stream to private. This morning, I get up, and I'm just checking on my stuff, and I see something that says blocked. I was like, blocked? Now that's new. That hasn't happened in the Lego playthrough so far. But it wasn't the videos in the playthrough that was blocked. Get this. It was the live stream. Okay? So good thing I didn't want to leave the live streams visible. The live stream got blocked. Now why? Music doesn't block the live streams. We've had all this Star Wars music up to now. I'm over 20 hours into the playthrough. What would possibly block the live stream? Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to laugh. YouTube's automated algorithm for copyright, get this, thinks that my footage of the Lego Star Wars video game is actual video that I stole from the real Star Wars The Force Awakens movie. It thinks the Lego characters are the movie. What? Yes. It in black and white, it flagged the video, says you have used video from Star Wars The Force Awakens, the movie. And therefore your video is blocked worldwide. I was like, what the fuck? Are you crazy? Exactly, man. Lego graphics are getting really good these days. Wow. How the fuck does it figure? How do you confuse it? 672 says a lot of the scenes from the game are exact lines from the movie, so I see how it would pick it up like that. I don't. If anything, what that does, it proves that the algorithm's shit. Because what if I'm doing a parody video or an homage video? What if I'm in a scene and I quote a movie line? Is my fucking video going to get claimed because I used a line from Ghostbusters saying that it's Ghostbusters? What? That's fucking stupid. That's incredibly stupid. That's not in any professional capacity, any kind of a valid way to enforce copyright. It's incredibly dumb, and by the way, it's illegal. You can't do that. You can't say, oh, DMCA claim. It's wrong. You broke the law. I didn't do that. Unreal. So anyway, yes, how dumb as that is, it's happening on YouTube. Thank God it didn't affect the actual gameplay that I'm getting people to watch, okay? But man, I'm looking at it like, imagine if they actually hit me with a strike. Thank God they didn't. But can you imagine if they hit me with a fucking copyright strike for that? It blows my mind how bad YouTube is sometimes, to this day. Thank God that this is the exception to the rule, though. This is not the norm these days, thank goodness. But still, it's ludicrous that it would even happen once. The Lego game is the real movie. Like, wow, you're stupid. There are people who receive paychecks for that. Yes, they get paid. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. All right, another thing I would like to talk about, guys, on today's PreStream podcast, we have some more information that I'd like to share with you about Super Thanks. All right? We've learned more in the last 24 hours that I feel is valuable information to share with all of you. So what is Super Thanks in a nutshell? If you're watching a video on demand on YouTube, it's like this podcast. If you're not on the live stream and you're just watching it at your own leisure, or if you're watching a playthrough video on your own leisure, whatever you may be watching, all right? There may be instances where you're like, hey, this is a really good video, and I want to support DSPGaming, so let me do it. Well, now there's a new way that you can actually support DSPGaming. It's called Super Thanks. It's right below the video. There should be a little thanks button there. Or if you don't see it there, if you're on a mobile device, I believe they actually put it inside the same menu where you can like or dislike a video. Okay? All it is very similar in concept to a super chat or a super sticker on a stream. What you do is you contribute to the channel, and it supports the channel, and you get something in return as a way of saying thank you. If you did a super chat or a super sticker, you would get a highlighted message in a stream chat. But if you're watching a video on demand, why do you care about that? You're not on the stream. Well, now you can get a highlighted message in the comments of the video, okay? And we actually experimented with these for about a day, and they're different levels. Depending on how much you contribute, shows a different kind of a message. For lower level contributions, you'll get a little bit of a highlight with either a blue or green attachment to show that you contributed. But if you do higher level, like I think if it's like $10 or more, it's a big, bright, golden highlighted message. And if you do a ginormous one, which is red, for like $50 or more, it's a huge red box around your highlighted comment, so it really stands out in the video comments. Now, I talked about this yesterday, and I said, I will, at least for now, because it's feasible, look through my YouTube Studio app, which I have right here on my phone. And what I do is I manually approve all the comments that I get on my channel every day. I sift through them, and I have to approve certain ones. Some of them get auto-blocked if they're troll comments, but I go through the other ones, and I update them, okay? So that being said, hold on. Okay, so that being said, as I approve comments and I see ones that are super thanks, what I've committed to doing for now is I am going to like the super thanks, and I'm going to use what I believe it's called, I don't know if it's faving. There's a thing when you're the content creator, okay? When you're the content creator, you're able to tag a comment, but I don't actually know what the terminology is on YouTube for it. But I believe when you do that, it highlights the comment. All right? So basically, if you do a super thanks of any kind, I'm going to like and highlight your comment as a way to show you that I read it and say thanks, and it gives it even a little bit more prominence on the video, okay? So essentially, if you support with the super thanks, your comment stays there forever. It's a permanent way to show that you supported the channel, okay? It's cool. Now, what we've been finding the last 24 hours is that there are some limitations to super thanks, and there are some things about it that I'd like to clarify, okay? First of all, allow me to clarify something. Super thanks are not considered a donation, nor is it considered crowdfunding towards a goal. Allow me to elaborate on that. When you say the word donation, there's a lot of assumptions attached to that word. When people say donation, they assume, oh, it's a non-for-profit, or that's a charitable contribution. It's not. When you contribute to a content creator like me, you're not donating. all right? What you're doing essentially is you're saying, hey, good job, here's some money or some funding or some support to keep going. You're funding a business. It's a transaction, essentially. However, you're not committing to getting anything back for it. You're basically saying, I already got the free content. Here's a way for me to support you to keep going. But it's not a donation. And the reason I say that is I hear all the time people say, oh, it's a donation. No, it's not. Legally, it's not. Any income that someone like me makes has to be claimed, has to be paid taxes on. And if you say donation, people try to find ways to get around shit. No, that's awful. That's really terrible. And what's really weird about it, even the third-party processors are guilty of calling income that content creators make donations. Stream Elements does it. It's like the default pop-up says donations. It's wrong. It's not a donation. A donation is non-for-profit charitable purpose. I don't know why they use that terminology. It's actually factually incorrect from a legal standpoint, okay? So that's number one I want to say. Super thanks, super chats, all that stuff, they're not donations, all right? Number two, no, super thanks don't go towards like an end goal. It's not crowdfunding to try to do something. And I'll give you some perspective here of why I'm saying this. Do you guys remember when I was back on Twitch? They used to have cheers. And Twitch had, in its terms of service, it outright said that cheers cannot be viewed as anything, what's the word? It's not money. Cheers are not money, and you can't ever reference cheers as money or whatever, or you're violating our terms of service. That used to be in the partner agreement over there on Twitch. Why did they do that? I really don't know the legal ins and outs of it. I don't know why they had that as a thing. I don't know if they were trying to spin it in a way that's not money and it's not regulated as money. I have no clue. I'm not a legal guy in that regard, okay? But the reason that they did this, okay, or the reason that people had to be careful about what they said on Twitch is because it was in the terms of service. And if you said, oh, we're going to do an event on Twitch where we're trying to raise cheers, and those cheers, if I raise enough, will buy something for the stream. Like if I raise this many cheers, I'm going to buy a new piece of equipment for the stream. No, that was a blatantly, utterly 100% against Twitch's terms of service. They would not allow you to do that. And you could get in big trouble for it. Although I was told all the time that people did it, it was totally blatantly against the terms, okay? Here on YouTube, it's the same premise with Super Thanks. Super Thanks are not meant to be considered a crowdfunding tool to get to an end. Meaning, there can't be a big goal at the end of a certain amount raised or anything like that. It's not supposed to be like that. Essentially, Super Thanks are a way for you, when you're watching an on-demand video, to say, I really like this video and I want to celebrate that this person put out a great piece of content and I want to support the channel, so let me support it by doing a Super Thanks on it. And that's it. It's only meant to be like a one-off kind of a deal. It's not supposed to be anything bigger than that, and no, it's not a donation. You might be wondering why I'm bringing this up this morning. Well, as always, whenever anything nice happens to me, there's a group of mentally challenged people out there, and I really say it factually now. This is not me trying to insult anyone. When you are someone who literally stalks someone you don't know on the internet, and every waking moment that something good happens to them, you try to ruin it, you have mental issues and you need to seek professional help. It's just that simple. This is actually a black and white issue at this point. If you actually, immediately when I announced I have Super Thanks, the first thought in your head was, wow, let's get rid of Super Thanks for Phil, you have problems and you need to seek help, okay? And I'm saying it as cold and plain as I can, all right? It's fucked up. You really, really need to better yourself in your life. You need to get help. It's messed up what your actions are doing right now. So anyway, there's a false flagging campaign against me. What a shock. Where people are trying to false flag all my content and saying that I'm violating YouTube's terms of service by talking about Super Thanks. I'm not. I'm not doing the things that they're saying I'm doing. They're false flagging everything in an attempt to try to get Super Thanks taken off the channel, okay? It likely won't work, I would hope, because I haven't done anything to violate YouTube's terms of service, okay? I'm not stupid. I'm not going to sit here and say things that are factually incorrect or things that are going to get me in trouble. I'm not dumb. But these idiots do this all the time now at this point, and it just gets to the point where it's sickening that they do it, all right? So, yes, if someone misuses Super Thanks, okay? If someone is spinning it as a charitable donation, that's a violation of YouTube's terms of service because it's blatantly wrong. If you use Super Thanks as a way to fund a project, like a crowdfunding project, that's a violation of YouTube's terms of service. You can't do that, okay? But I'm not doing that. I'm using it exactly as intended, okay? So there you go. Now, as an addendum to Super Thanks, what we found are a couple interesting things in the last 24 hours. First of all, it appears Super Thanks can only be used on videos where the comments are enabled. Well, if you really think about what Super Thanks are, that makes a lot of sense. Because Super Thanks are a comment with some kind of a supportive contribution attached to it. If the comments are off, how could you possibly leave a comment on the video? Right? Sadly, this is bad news for me. Why? Because for about 5 years of my content, when I was a full-time streamer over on Twitch, I had the comments off on YouTube. Did I ever foresee that there would be a thing like Super Thanks and this would actually bite me in the butt? Of course I didn't. Who would have known? They just turned it on for everyone, so you never would have understood it, all right? It just kind of sucks because now I have 5 years of content, okay? And a lot of people like the content I put out in those 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Just this morning, someone in the stream chat said, Phil, I was watching your Psychonauts 2 playthrough from last year, and I love the playthrough, and I wanted to leave a super thanks, and I can't. It's because there's no comments on those videos. They're disabled. And you might say, well, then why don't you just go back and enable all the comments on those videos? Because there's no way to actually do it feasibly. Sadly, the way YouTube works, as stupid as this sounds, you can't search for YouTube videos by date. You can't search for them by criteria. Like, I can't say, just find videos with comments disabled. It doesn't exist. YouTube, as complex and as common as it is to be used, it's also super primitive. The only way I can even find my videos is in a queue in my YouTube studio page, and there's no search criteria for that kind of stuff. It's really, really stupid. I would have to manually go back for 5 years of videos, and on each fucking video, manually enable the comments. Think about how dumb that would be, okay? I can't do that. And I'm sorry, maybe if I had a team of people working for me, I would be able to do it. But being that YouTube is still, to this day, 15 plus years, the video sharing leader on the internet, and it's primitive as shit to do stuff like this. I can't go back and do it, all right? It sucks, because obviously, I would like to have comments on those videos. Now that YouTube has the tools in place to prevent the trolling on my videos in the comments, I would like to have videos on I would like to have comments on all my videos again, right? But there's just no way to do it feasibly. And it just kind of sucks. There's not much I can do about that. All right? So, thank you for watching my videos for the last 5 years. Really. If you check the description of those videos, you should find links to things that you can actually contribute to. For example, you go to my Patreon, and on my Patreon, you could do a pledge. Or you could leave a tip. Tips, even though they're technically tied to streams and there's pop-ups on the streams for them, tips you could still leave at any time of the day, and I will appreciate them and shout them out if I can on a stream. So, or if you say, oh, don't shout this out, it's just a, behind the scenes tip, that's fine too. It's your call, okay? So, yeah. So, it sucks. You can't leave super thanks on any of the videos from the 5-year period that there were no comments on DSPGaming, okay? Another thing that apparently we found out overnight was that if a video gets claimed by another third party, you can't do a super thanks on it, all right? And you might say, well, why is that? Well, all I could do is guess, because YouTube isn't transparent about this stuff. All I could do is take a stab at a guess, and my guess is as follows. If your video gets claimed on YouTube, and you don't clear that up, okay? If you don't clear that up, and instead you're leaving it as is, what you're kind of just conceding to is that someone else has a legal claim to something in your video. It could be music, it could be a visual thing, it could be anything. Who knows, right? But if there's a legal claim to something in your video, okay, I guess YouTube is trying to err on the side of caution. They don't want to get into any kind of a legal argument about who has rights to what's in that video. And if you accept some kind of a contribution or support for that particular piece of content, that's kind of a legal gray area who owns it. Now you could also say, well, isn't it also the contribution kind of in question? Because what if I made a video that all it is me lip syncing to a song. Obviously, I don't own the song. So now the owner of the song could say, well, anyone who thought that video was funny and contributed to it, we want that revenue because that's our song that was used to make the video. And now you're getting into a big legal argument, and no one wants to deal with that. Me included. So I think that's the deal is if it's claimed, there's already a legal issue with that video, you can't do a super thanks because that's going to open up a whole other can of worms of who should get that revenue, okay? So there you have it. So super thanks are great. They absolutely can help a content creator on YouTube for on-demand content in the very same way that super chats and super stickers have been helping streamers on YouTube all along. All right, it's a great addition to the channel. I want to say thank you to anyone who has contributed in this method since it got turned down a couple days ago. As you're watching my ongoing playthroughs, if you like them, this is a way that you can support them. All right, you might love the PreStream podcast. Leaving a super thanks on a PreStream podcast is a great way to show that and to say, hey, keep it up. You might be really hyped for today's content where I'm taking on the Hallie Tree in Elden Ring, and you might watch the videos on demand after the fact. It's a great way to support the channel in that playthrough, okay? And I appreciate anyone, all right? Anyone who contributes in any way, okay? Thank you for that, really. Whether it's just a like on a stream, a like on a video, leaving a comment, that engagement, which is not any kind of a financial transaction, that helps this channel concretely. The engagement has been huge in the last few months, and the channel has grown. The channel has gotten way more subs. The channel has gotten way more overall engagement from all sources, and I thank you guys for that, okay? Okay, so there you have it, everyone. That was a lot to talk about on the PreStream podcast today. So thank you. By the way, thank you, Malcolm. A tip just came in. I'm going to actually just start to shout out contributions right now, this very moment. Okay, guys? Hobo X says, until the new Street Fighter collaboration, or collection releases, excuse me, can we replace Friday Night Fights with Friday Night Fishing? We could do fishing, but I don't want to replace Friday Night Fights. No. Okay. Oh, by the way. Hold on a second. Ah, my leg. Okay. Someone just mentioned in the stream chat that there was another patch for Elden Ring since the last time I played it. So I wanted to be sure that it was installed, and it says it is. I just wanted to be sure I was playing the latest version, okay? Okay, let's do shoutouts. We'll start with the YouTube side of things. Let me reload here. On the YouTube side of things, we start off with Timothy Porridge, who did a super chat. He said, what's the point of voting if you remove our choices? I don't even know what you're talking about. When was there a vote where I removed your choice? If he's referencing YouTubers Life 2, members voted, it got in, we played it for an hour, everyone on the stream agreed it was boring and wanted me to do something else. Should I go against the people who are actually there live watching the content and say, I ignore you now and we play this boring game for another hour and I put everyone to sleep? You're full of crap. Jose Martinez did a super chat. Thank you, Jose Martinez. I appreciate that. CRT Enthusiast did a super chat, acting like a fool, thinking that that person in here who was impersonating another YouTuber was the real YouTuber when it wasn't. It was an impersonator. You're a fool. Or you're a troll, or both. Vac29 did a super chat and said, fuck, but I guess it got edited. I don't know. Thank you, Vac, for the super chat. I don't know why you're just saying, like, the F word in the super chat, though. It's a little weird. It's a little off-putting. Fuck! Okay. On the tip side of things, we got a bit of a slow start. We've got Malcolm with a $1.50 tip, and that's the only tip so far today. He says the following. DSP stalkers, creeping and peeping, it all comes with the price of fame. First of all, of all the people on the internet, all right, who do content, seriously, and this is actually part of what we may discuss a little bit during my Down the Rabbit Hole video coming up, is that unlike most people who do this for a living, I did not choose to do this for a living, nor did I intend for it to ever be something where I would be popular at all. This is something that I completely stumbled into, all right? Really, this was something that I was doing as a hobby, all right? And I never thought it would be popular. I was just dicking around, inspired by people like the Angry Video Game Nerd or the Nostalgia Critic, who basically had no budget, no production, but were able to pump out videos that just because they were funny guys became popular on the internet. I was inspired to do something with gameplay. Just play a game, be stupid, make commentary over it on the fly, upload it and see what happens, right? And it got popular. It wasn't intentional. I did it for 2.5 years as a joke, okay? And I got more and more popular every day doing this. It's so ridiculous how it worked, okay? And definitely when I lost my office job, and this ended up being something to fall back on and try to find a way to monetize and make my job. Didn't think it was going to work. Blew me away with the amount of support that I got at the time. It was out of control, okay? My life was changed forever. Essentially, when I lost my office job and I started doing this, my life was changed completely forever as a result. For the better, I would think. But at the very same time, it's funny because Malcolm says, well, DSP stalkers, creeping and peeping, it all comes with the price of fame. You say the price of fame. I never agreed to the transaction of fame. I never wanted internet fame. I never wanted to be a figurehead. I never wanted to be seen as someone who's an authority, or when I speak, people listen. And you know what I mean? That's why in my formative years as a content creator, I did a lot of stupid, irresponsible stuff because I didn't understand what it was back then. Now I get it. But back then it was like me, I'm just dicking around. I don't care what I do. Nothing should be taken seriously. This is all a joke. You know, that was my attitude back then. And people actually took me seriously, which is hilarious that they would see me play a game like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 and just literally rip the game a new asshole constantly, never taking blame for anything I'm doing because that was my shtick. I wasn't a serious gamer. And these people are so dumb, they took it for real like I was being serious. I can't believe they did. But they did. You know, someone playing the game and flipping and saying, look at my taint. Look at my taint. Look at this taint. Oh, that's a serious gamer, you know. But anyway, we will definitely address all of that in the upcoming Down the Rabbit Hole video, okay? But anyway, the point I'm making here is you could look at a lot of people today that this is what they do. They actively chose to get into content creation because their end goal was to make a living doing it, to get big and to become kind of an e-celebrity making content, right? And you can say, well, that's the price of fame, is that you're going to have trolls, you're going to have negativity, you're going to have this and that. When I got into it, there was no track record of anyone doing it. There was no history to follow to see the mistakes they had made and to learn from them. There was absolutely nothing. I was one of the trailblazers of doing this kind of stuff, and therefore I made a lot of mistakes along the way that led to me getting a lot of negativity in the ire of the internet. And it sucks because I really think now that if I look back and I say, man, if I hadn't done that, hadn't done this, hadn't done that, things probably would have been a lot better. The thing is, though, that's not how life works. As they say, hindsight is 20/20. Of course, now in the future, you can look back at the mistakes you made in the past and say, man, that was a bad one. I should have done this instead. I should have done this instead. But that's not how life works. You're never going to be able to magically know the right thing to do. And you got to own your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You got to own those things you fucked up on and admit that they were wrong and then make yourself better. At least that's the way I've tried to approach things here as a content creator, okay? I'm not remaking those same mistakes anymore. You know, I've learned, I've changed. And now that I say that, I'm going to go into Elden Ring on the Halley Tree. The Halley Tree is going to kick my ass, and I'm going to rage and complain and scream at the game developers. That's what, I mean, you see, that's the, and people will say, Phil's a hypocrite, and he's not self-aware. I am. But people are stupid. They don't understand human emotion. They don't understand in the heat of the moment, you need to have an outlet for your rage, because if you don't and you swallow it, then it hurts you inside, and then you become a terrible person. Seriously, if you swallow your emotion and you don't ever let it out, and you just keep it pent up inside of you, all right, that's bad. It's good to let it out, and it's a silly stream. This is not an ultra serious, high-level Elden Ring, show you how good I am at the game, 100% of everything I say is meant to be taken as a review style stream. It's not. It's me fucking around in the game and trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? It's silly stuff. And I don't understand why people take it so seriously, right? Because that's exactly what will happen today. I'll play today. I'll die a bunch. I'll swear at the game. I'll say, fuck this unfair bullshit. I rolled. I did this. I did it. You know, the same stuff I've been doing for 14 years on the internet. It's no different. And people will say, Phil's a hypocrite because I was pre-stream. He said he's changed for the better. Well, I have. I'm not doing racist stuff. I'm not doing sexist stuff. There's no over-sexualized content anymore in my videos and stuff. I'm not saying things that are hurtful to other people, right? You don't see me standing here insulting others, insulting entire genres of game. You know, if this were the old Phil, I'd literally stand here and I'd be like, saying stuff about Fortnite and insulting everyone who plays Fortnite and say Fortnite ruined gaming and all that. That's what I did to Minecraft years ago. I was completely ignorant. I was an idiot. And instead of playing the game and understanding what it was and how it could appeal to an audience or whatever, I would actually just insult what I didn't understand. Okay? And I'm not like that anymore. All right? In fact, if there's something that I don't understand, I'll purposely try to play it to understand it. All right? That doesn't mean I don't have to like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Fortnite. But I'm not going to sit here and crap on any person who continues to play it, you know? And that's some of the ways that I've changed and improved over the years. But, no, I'm not going to sit here and play a game and not say, well, I'm going to have no emotion when I play a game. I'm going to be Mr. Stoic. It's going to be like you're watching a fucking mannequin play Elden Ring today. Zero reaction. Just play and die. I'm like, dead. Next life. That's not the point. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point of a fun gameplay stream. You like seeing emotion, right? You like seeing, that's the point. So why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I have those reactions? But when I review the game, I'll review it fairly with a mix of subjectivity and objectivity. That's the point of a good review, is being able to take your emotion in the moment and put it aside, compartmentalize it, so you can objectively analyze and see what the game had that was good and bad, and then you can put in your subjectivity with emotion and things that happen, and then you can have a really good in-depth review. You see the difference? Okay, so it's funny because you say the price of fame. I don't remember buying my fame because I never did. I never asked for it. I never intended for it to happen. I never wanted to do this for a living. These are all things that unintentionally kind of happened. I stumbled into it completely by accident, but it worked out. Now that I'm in it, I love it. But at the very same time, yeah, it's funny because people say, oh, well, that's what you get for being famous. You get all the harassment with it. Well, I never agreed to that. And by the way, if I had known it was going to be as bad as it got, I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, you know, you look back and you're kind of like, some people will say, well, I wouldn't have changed a thing. Well, now I can look back and say, yeah, there definitely would have been things I would have been differently, okay? Do I regret making the decisions I made and the things? No, I'm not a kind of person that lives in regrets. I don't just sit here and say, oh, man, those are the good old days. I can't believe it. It's all fucked up now. No, absolutely not. That's not me in any way, shape, or form. But definitely there were things I could have done better, and I do wish that it wasn't a situation where now I'm the focus of these group of hyper-fixated nutjob trolls. Sitting on forums, sitting in Discord servers, sitting on other people's illegal restreams every day, just sitting and plotting how to hurt me. I'm someone you don't even know. If you'd ever talked to me, you don't know anything about me, you know? Anyway, so now it's starting to get stuffy in here, and I'm going to actually open the window now because I had it closed because it was cold in the house, but now it's starting to get stuffy, and I'm definitely going to need some fresh air. Plus, we're getting towards game time here. Let's open this. We'll close the blinds now. The sun's been out, so I'll close the blinds and try to get some fresh air in here, freshen things up. Happy Thursday to you, Guts. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Sounds good, Jay. He says, I don't care what games you play, I'll be here no matter what you're playing, Game Pass or whatever. It's cool. What's up to Graves Fiend? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Oh, I don't know anything about that. So, Walking Dead Carl, another Carl spinoff name, says, does Discord actually choose to support those communities? Isn't it a bad look for them? You're asking the wrong person. I don't know shit about shit when it comes to that or how those business models work. By the way, I think there was another shout out to do here. Oh, yes, VAK did another super chat. Says, I meant to say fuck Twitch, but Bezos is censoring me. Jeff Bezos has censored VAK. How terrible. Yes, hello, Lord Shiagrad. We've already spoken. All right. We got a little bit of time. Just a little bit. A few minutes here before we get started with Elden Ring gameplay. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm using the Elden Ring border today, because we're basically at the end of the game. Like I said, we got to finish the Halley Tree, the super boss, and then there's the final area of the game, and then I guess there's like the end of the game, which I don't know what it is. But basically, we're almost done. I foresee maybe 3 streams today and 2 more maybe, to beat the game. So I figure I should use this artwork while I can, because likely once Elden Ring's done, we're not going to be using the border much anymore, if at all. Maybe just for a rarity, right? So maybe what I'll do when I review the game, I'll just block where it says PreStream Podcast somehow, because I like the art, but maybe I should block that and just say the game Elden Ring review or something up there, right? Okay. 672 just tipped me $6.72. He says, I was on the PlayStation Store today. I saw a game that's actually called Waifu Impact for $4.99. I believe you should play the game. It could attract a new audience, and the tips would flood in. Think about it, pimp. All right. Thank you for that very intelligent suggestion. By the way, there's absolutely no way that game could be trying to capitalize on another game. That sounds like a totally original concept that Okay. Good morning, Jack. How are you? Plum Girl, well, happy early birthday. Says her birthday is Monday. Wow. Been watching me for over a decade. That's insane. Do I still like playing video games? I feel like we get more talking content than gameplay lately, says Young Thug. I love playing video games. It's like I told you guys. Here's the thing. I'm 40 years old now. And 40 years old, it's eye-opening. You know? Midlife crisis time. No, it's the good news. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I love my life. But as I start to get older, I realize that the gaming thing is great, and I love it. It's been my lifelong hobby. I'm happy it's been my job for over a decade. But I have to start to realize that things are going to change over time. As I get older, I'm not going to have the hand-eye coordination that I've had. I'm going to get carpal tunnel. I'm not going to be able to sit here sedentary for these kind of lengths without taking breaks and stretching. As I get older, it's just natural, okay? And so, in turn with that, I need to try to diversify my content. Me sitting here talking with you guys is a great way to diversify the content. And by the way, it's working. If you haven't noticed, the PreStream Podcast is getting a consistent following. I just did a React event that was incredibly successful. People are liking the content that's not gameplay. That's good. Now, the gameplay is still my bread and butter. The gameplay is still what I'm dedicated to doing for as long as I can. I love it. But having a variety of stuff you do is a great idea. All right? Be it, people will say, oh, you're a jack of all trades but a master of none. Fair enough. But when you pigeonhole yourself into that one style of content, and if that's the only thing you're known of doing, you kind of get stuck. And I'll give you guys some examples here. If you guys don't know, there's been content creators out there that are known for one style of content. They've wanted to get out of it, and they get stuck. Infamously, 2 people who this happened to, actually 3 people who this have happened to. The Angry Video Game Nerd, the Nostalgia Critic, and Angry Joe. All of them are known for very highly produced review-style videos, sometimes with big budget skits, actors coming in, you know what I'm saying? That's their bread and butter. All of them over the years have expressed desire that they don't really want to do that kind of content that much anymore. Maybe every once in a while is something special, but they would prefer to do more natural content where they can talk or just play games and have fun. And when they put that content out, it's not nearly as popular as what they're known for doing, because they became known as the guys on the internet who do that stuff. Oh, I want to diversify and spread out. Well, you're not known for that. There's other people who already do that, you see? And that kind of sucks. I actually feel for them, because over time things change. You're not always going to be the same person. And maybe your desires, your interests change. You don't want to do the same crap over and over. The Angry Video Game Nerd at one point actually said he would not actually keep making episodes if it was his own choice anymore. But now his company, I started looking into this stuff recently. Apparently his content is kind of not owned, but controlled by his partner company, Screenwave Media. And he expressed his desire to retire from making videos back in like 2018. And Screenwave stepped in and said, well, this is money for us, man. This is money you're throwing away. So here's what you do. You step back. We're going to produce everything. We're going to write the scripts. We're going to have the actors come in. We're going to do all that. We're going to get the filming done ourselves. We're going to do it, not you. We're going to actually provide the gameplay footage. You don't even have to play the games anymore. You're not going to play the games anymore. Like, everything we're going to handle. And all you are is an actor. You walk in for a day, we film, you say lines, you walk out, you're done. We'll do all of it because we want to keep the nerd alive to make money. And I guess a lot of people have issue with the nerd now because that's what they say, is that his content is not his. You can tell watching the videos from modern years versus his classic stuff that is completely different, right? It's a classic case. If you make one kind of content and that's all you're known for doing, and you get stuck doing it, now what happens when you want to diversify or you want to do something different? Now you're stuck because you will either do that or no one cares about everything else you're doing. And yeah, it's kind of sad, to be honest. These guys, you know, Angry Joe, from all accounts, okay, incredibly hard worker. Guy busts his ass to put out content on the internet. And, you know, over the years, people have kind of talked about how he experiences burnout. He gets to the point where, like, he puts so much time and effort into his content, his very good content, right, that now all he wants to do is play some games or do some vlogs or do a review, and that's all well and good, and that content does get good views on the internet, but his bread and butter is the highly edited, crazy high-end, skit-filled, highly produced game review, okay? And it sucks because he has to keep doing those. Even if he says one day, I don't want to do them, he would probably go out of business because that's what people come to watch. And yes, if he keeps making that, then the views will trickle down into the other kind of content he wants to make, but he has to keep doing that, right? So for me, okay, I have to keep doing gameplay, but the good news is I like the gameplay. I would love to keep doing it forever, but I have to look at myself and my own limitations and my age and say, it's not going to be like this forever, especially over the next decade. I almost guarantee you there's going to be things creeping up on me, and I'm not going to be able to do it as much as I want to, okay? And I'm going to have to diversify. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Let's get some other styles of content into the mix of what I'm doing, so that way people aren't only expecting the one thing. And if I'm not doing the one thing, people aren't pissed, you know? So that's why I like this. I like doing this style of content. It's fun to me. It's meaningful to me. People tell me it's meaningful, and I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy that I didn't start the PreStream podcast back in November and oh, this sucks, stop doing it. No, it's the opposite. I'm actually being encouraged, which is excellent. Bass says, do you ever get burned out on having to answer questions and thinking about things to talk about? I would only say the only time that I end up feeling a little bit of burnout is, for example, let's say I'm playing a game and the game is highly chill. There's not a lot going on gameplay-wise, and I want to have a chill interactive stream with you guys, but you guys kind of disassociate from me, and you start having your own conversations in the chat, and you don't even really tag me or nothing. That is disheartening, because the whole point of me playing those style of games is that we have conversation and fun together, and if people decide to have their own conversations outside of the realm of interacting with me, it is a little disheartening. Like, man, what did you come here for, right? That does get to me. I would say out of all the content I'm doing right now, that's probably the few times when I do get a little, not necessarily upset, but disappointed, because I would hope that people would come to my stream because you want to chill with me. And 9 times out of 10, that's the case. But every once in a while, we got an odd-off stream where it's a little weird. Okay? Hello, Juan David Ortega. How you doing? Nick, I have no idea if I saw your videos on your comment on Ask the King or not. I couldn't tell you. Super Beanie Man Gaming says, do you ever miss just playing a game by yourself and not streaming, or would that feel weird to you at this point? I mean, let me put it this way. Over the years, there's always staple games that I like to go back and play from my childhood. And I've just mentioned this recently. Games like Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound. Like, those are the staples that over the years I always like to go back and replay for myself, okay? In the time that I've now been a content creator, okay? Those are games that I haven't gone back and really played besides once. There was that Summer of Retro where I went back and I played a ton of them. Outside of that, I haven't really played them again, right? But outside of that, is there any major detriment to playing a game with an audience versus playing for yourself. The only real detriment, I would say, is the pressure when I'm streaming, because I know I have to be here at a set time. I have to put out a set amount of content. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, if I'm playing for myself, I can just come wherever I want, boot it up, play as much as I want, take a break. When I'm streaming, there's pressure to be on a schedule, to take set breaks so it doesn't break up the stream. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different, for sure. So in that case, I'd say yes, but, you know, taking a look at overall, do I really miss just sitting around playing games by myself? Not really. If anything, having this as my job has allowed me to play way more. Obviously, I didn't play this many games before this was my job, right? And it's broadened my horizons. It's made me a way more diverse gamer. I've played so many different IPs and series and things that I never would have played games like Danganronpa or Persona or Yakuza. I never would have touched those franchises if I was just playing games for myself. I wouldn't have. I would have sat in my comfort zone, stayed in my lane, you know? And I'm happy about that I got that kind of diversification. Gorilla's Giant Dino Dong tipped me $7.77 to ask about if I would do a series called Toilet with the King. Yes, the series starts tomorrow. I'm going to start it tomorrow. That was a really good idea. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've talked enough. I think it's time to end the pre-stream. I'm going to take a leak, and we're going to jump back into the Hallig Tree, who's going to kick my butt. I know, because it already did. Those fucking Revenant Gauntlet was a major pain in my ass. But we're going to keep it up. We're going to jump right back in and keep going. I don't know how long the Hallig Tree dungeon is. It seems like we're in a castle portion. You would think this is the second half and this is the end, but maybe it's like an insanely long dungeon and there's 7 portions. I don't know. But let's do it. We'll jump back in and we'll see what we can do. All right, guys? Excellent. Thanks for a great pre-stream. Nico just did a $1.50 tip and said, much love, DSP. Much love to you, Nico, and thank you very much for the support, man. Appreciate that. All right, very good.